It goes on to say, if it hadn't gone over, the bill would have been on the house, as they say. Therefore, the dealership's check for the battery replacement came back an astounding $23,000 with additional cost included. However, even though the car was out of warranty, the Kia dealership did say that it will cover half the cost, leaving the remaining $11,500 for the owner. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Parts Talk. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Now today we're going to be doing an article from Auto Evolution, and it's entitled "The Cost for a 2018 Kia Soul Battery Replacement Was So High the Owner Gave the Car Back." This was actually done on 21st of October 2022, and I will leave the link below. So let's go through this article. And it says a 2011 Lincoln MKZ hybrid vehicle owner had a very unpleasant experience when he saw the $20,000 bill for the battery replacement needed after it failed. A similar case was that of a 2018 Kia Soul EV that also broke down, and when the repair cost came back, the owner had a $23,000 worth surprise. According to a Toronto media outlet, well, my hometown here, the Lincoln owner bought his 2011 model just over 4 years ago. Initially, the dealership's quote was for $15,000, but the battery replacement with labor and taxes rounded up to $20,000. It goes without saying that when you already have an 11-year-old car, investing that kind of money in it isn't on your primary to-do list, unless maybe it's a classic or a gem or some sort. Thankfully, his car is a fully hybrid, which means he can drive it solely on its 263 horsepower 3.5-liter V6 ICE engine with no problems. ICE stands for internal combustion engine. Well, no other problems other than the current gas prices. As for the 2018 Kia Soul EV owner, the situation wasn't as fortunate as simply switching the engine it runs on. The vehicle was under warranty for up to 8 years or 160,000 kilometers, whichever one came first. A bit of bad luck was also involved earlier this year. The owner just hit the 105,633 mile or 170,000 kilometer mark with 10,000 kilometers over the warranty limit. It may seem a little bit high, but I also remember that my car, which is a 2019 Chevy Cruze, has over 180,000 kilometers on it. Why? I drive 95 kilometers one way to work and back. So I do believe the kilometers on this, depending on the distance that you drive. Some of us also experience this. It goes on to say, if it hadn't gone over, the bill would have been on the house, as they say. Therefore, the dealership's check for the battery replacement came back an astounding $23,000 with additional cost included. However, even though the car was out of warranty, the Kia dealership did say that it will cover half the cost, leaving the remaining $11,500 for the owner. The sum still wasn't enticing enough to pay for the replacement, so the Kia was returned to the financing company and put up for auction. Smart move, because nobody's going to pay that type of money for replacing a battery in these economic times, and also it's not an easy fix where these EVs are concerned. And one of the advantages that the 2011 Lincoln MKZ hybrid vehicle owner had was that it could still run on the existing engine that uses gas, and forget about the battery. Fully electric EVs are not so lucky. And then we can see as time goes by how much it is going to cost owners to be replacing the batteries on the hybrids and also on the EVs whenever the time comes. So I encourage a lot of dealers and shops out there to get ready. One of the things is that I usually go down and look at the comments to see what people are saying, and the first comment on this article jumped out on me. It says, typical EV misinformation article. A photo of a $30,000 estimate for a Chevy Volt battery recently made the rounds. A battery replacement can be had for $5,000. But don't let facts get in the way. I was curious to follow up on this particular comment because there's no way somebody can replace a battery, a EV battery, for $5,000. So I went digging for a fact check on what he had to say, and this came up in USA Today. Fact check: dealership quoted $30,000 for new hybrid car battery. That's unusually high. And if you go down, it says multiple posts circulating on Facebook claim a Florida car dealership estimated it would cost nearly $30,000 to replace the battery of a Chevy Volt. A Chevy Volt with just 70,000 miles needed a new battery and some coolant, reads an August 25th post shared more than 600 times. That'll be $30,000, please. The claim circulated in many other posts as well, which together were shared more than 20,000 times. The image included with the post shows the dealership's repair estimate, which lists the price of the battery at $26,853. The total cost of repairs, which also includes coolant, shop supplies, and labor, is listed at $29,842, and they rounded it up to $30,000 based on what the post was saying. I'm not going to go through the entire article, but just bits of pieces of it so you can understand what it is saying. The car that needed repair was a 2012 Chevrolet Volt, a hybrid electric vehicle. The car was no longer under warranty, and General Motors no longer make the car's battery, Herman says. This is a battery that has to be purchased from a third-party supplier, and that's where the real cost comes in. General Motors discontinued the Volt in 2018 and replaced it with the Chevrolet Bolt, a fully electric vehicle that uses a completely different style of battery, Herman said. But here where it gets really interesting. The type of battery in the Volt usually lasts about a decade, but parts related to the battery can fail sooner and the entire battery will need to be replaced. These components are integral and will be replaced with the battery as a unit, leading to higher cost. It is difficult to say exactly how many miles a battery will last before it needs to be replaced, because it is largely dependent on how it is used. Batteries in hybrid vehicles like the Chevrolet Volt are typically smaller than those in fully electric vehicles. Smaller batteries often have shorter lifespan. Now, to summarize this article, our rating: True. Based on our research, we rate true the claim that a Florida car dealership quoted $30,000 to replace the battery in a Chevrolet Volt. The dealership's service director said the vehicle was no longer covered by a warranty and the battery was discontinued, meaning it will be purchased at a high cost from a third-party dealer. So there you have it. Again, usually some people, not all, we just make irrational responses based on our emotions without checking the facts first. We're all guilty of it. I am guilty of it sometimes. However, we're all humans, and this is why the information is always important for us to give out there. Now, from a parts and service perspective, going into the EV evolution, these are some of the things that are going to be coming out ever so often. Now we're looking at more and more posts coming out about hybrid vehicles that were there before fully EV vehicles, and the challenges a lot of the customers are now facing replacing the parts for those very same hybrid vehicles. Remember, I had a video about a Canadian who complained that to replace the battery for his Tesla would cost him in excess of over $20,000. So we're going to be seeing more of that as time goes by. Therefore, get ready to dig deeper in the pockets if you want to maintain these vehicles. Not much different from ICE vehicles. However, the struggle will continue. Let's start the conversation below. Remember to grab a copy of my ebook, The Parts Manager Guide. The link is in the description box below. Please smash that like button on your way out. It will only take you 1.5 seconds to do so. Until next time.